Welcome back. In continuing with our circulatory system videos, this video is going to look at the genetics behind your blood type. How do you get the type blood that you have, whether you're A negative, O positive, whatever it is. So in the last video, we talked about what makes up our blood. So we know that the three main components are the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the plasma. We also have the platelets. So you should already know by now what each of these does in the blood and how they contribute to transporting oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other nutrients around the body. So we're going to look at the genetics of blood types. So your blood type is established before you are born by specific genes inherited by your parents. So you inherited one gene from your mother and one from your father, and the combination of the two is what gives you your specific blood type. There are three alleles or genes for blood type, A, B, and O. So since we have two genes, there are 6 possible combinations for your blood type. There are 4 major blood types. You can have type A, type B, type AB, or type O. And they all differ based on the antigens or antibodies you have on the surface of your red blood cells. So those of you who have type A blood, on the surface of your red blood cells, as you can see in this picture right here, you have A proteins on your surface of your red blood cells. You'll also have antibodies against type B blood. So if you were to receive type B blood, your body would reject it. The one type of blood that does not have antibodies is type AB. They do not have any antibodies because they have both A and B proteins on the surface of their red blood cells. So they will not reject any blood type. Alright, so this slide just shows you the relative amount of the different blood types. Whether you're curious whether you have the most common or the least common. O tends to be the most common blood type in a population, and AB is the least common because in order to get AB, you would have to get one A allele and one B allele, so it's a little bit less common to have that blood type. Blood transfusion is a procedure in which blood is given to a patient through an intravenous or IV line in one of the blood vessels. They're usually done to replace blood lost during surgery or a serious injury. They can also be done if a person's body can't make blood properly because of an illness. So these can be really crucial because you need to be given the right type of blood. People with type O blood are called universal donors because they can give blood to anybody. Everyone will accept type O blood. So it is known that in ambulances, they only carry type O blood to save space and also save time because they won't need to test your blood in an emergency situation. They can give you type O and know that your body will not reject it. People with type AB blood are called the universal recipients because they can receive any blood type. There's also a factor that we're going to go into in the next couple of slides called the Rh factor. So you can be Rh positive or Rh negative, which is where the AB positive or O negative comes from. So this Rh factor, scientists studied these rhesus monkeys to learn more about human anatomy because there were certain similarities between the two species. While studying these monkeys, a certain blood protein was discovered. This protein was also present in the blood of some people. Not everyone, but some people had this same protein. So the presence of the protein or the lack of it is referred to as the Rh or rhesus factor. If you have the protein, you are Rh positive. If you don't have the protein, you are Rh negative. So that's where the positive or negative comes next to the blood type, whether you're AB positive, O negative, A positive, whatever it is. This last slide is going to just show you the differences in blood when you look at it under a microscope between different organisms. So if you look at the bottom center picture right here, that's human blood. That's what human blood is going to look like under a microscope. Now, bird blood, the top left, you can see it looks slightly more condensed, a lot closer together, not as spaced out as the human blood. Frog blood, same thing, is a lot more spaced out. Now, looking at these certain blood things, actually veterinarians can use these, human doctors can use these too, because you can count the different number of blood cells to make sure you have the appropriate levels of each type of blood cell, whether you're low on white blood cells or red blood cells. Veterinarians also use this to look for abnormalities, count the number of blood cells to see if you have a healthy animal. So that's going to conclude the video for what makes up your blood type. How do you get the blood type that you have?